Hey everyone, welcome in this festive tech calendar 2020 on December 10th. My name is Peter Detender, based out of Belgium, and I'm going to try and help you enjoying the holidays a little bit more, giving you a hands-on lab task that you can go through. That should help you in migrating or understanding how to migrate a two-tier application, front-end web app, and a database backend, connecting to Azure different container services. Now, if you're wondering where this lab is coming from, I recently published a book through a press publisher that's covering migrating an application, two-tier, into Azure workloads, where the Azure Container specific hands-on lab that I'm for free making available for all Tech Festive fans up here to go through is one full functional chapter out of that book. Now, what you're going to learn throughout the hands-on lab is, first of all, obviously learning a little bit about Azure, running an e-commerce full production-ready example that I'm going to use, how to deploy a lab jump server if you don't want to mess anything around with your local machine. Maybe you use a corporate laptop during the holidays, but you're not allowed to install any tools like Docker, Visual Studio, VS Code, anything else that you might need during the lab exercise. You could start with deploying a jump server. And next to that, I'm also guiding you through the deployment of a Windows Server 19 on Azure and using that one as a container host, one of the only few options we have available in the platform. From there, you're gonna grab some Docker sample containers and move them into Azure Container Registry, Azure Container Instance, and Web App for Containers. All that should keep you quite busy, although in total, the lab shouldn't take longer than about 90 minutes, maybe around 2 hours if you want to read out all the details. So what do you need to go through the lab? First of all, obviously, you need an Azure subscription. If you don't have one, you are able to do the lab using a free Azure subscription. So go out to azure.microsoft.com and grab your free subscription there. Next to that, if you want, step one or the pre-step in the lab is deploying a lab virtual machine. I got all the resources available in my GitHub repo, allowing you to grab an ARM template and deploy a full end-to-end jump server from there. The actual lab is starting with deploying a Windows machine, running that one as a container host, just because it's possible and an interesting lab to go through, in my opinion. From there, we're going to interact with Azure Platform, deploying Container Registry, moving our Docker container into the registry, and from there actually spinning up our e-commerce environment. Option 1, Container Instance. Option 2, Azure Web App for Containers. Last objective, most important, shout out on the interwebs that you learn about Azure, that you learn about containers, that you learned thanks to Festive Tech Calendar, and if you want, feel free to include myself as well. Most important, link is available, github/pdtit/festive. That's where you're going to find all the details, all the screenshots. If you got any questions, don't hesitate reaching out, preferably on Twitter, but email will probably still work if we're not having any other technical challenges. Besides that, that's the main objective for today. But again, feel free to spend the whole holidays on it, learn from it, reach out, shout out on the internet, inspire anyone to start using Azure. And don't forget to check back every single day. We're here, Festive Tech Calendar. And ho ho ho, happy holidays!